Good afternoon to you. Right now I'm under the caravan and I'm actually looking at the bottom of, not the dog, the bottom of the water tank, which is under here. Now this is a Camec brand, C-A-M-E-C brand. This is a 59 litre model and I've actually repaired it here where the inlet is, which has become a bit of an issue. So whilst it's holding water now, I've actually lost the plug here, and for the life of me I cannot find something to fit in here to plug it up. So based on the fact that it's started leaking a little bit from here, and I can't trust that join that I've got there, and I've lost this plug, I'm actually thinking I'm just going to grab another one. Now this one being the 62 litres, I actually originally thought that it was 80 litres. I think the original owner who I bought this off told me it was an 80 litre tank. But anyway, good news is, obviously these brackets are holding this tank on. So I need to be careful of the height here. And obviously the width across the bottom. But the good news, and having a look online, is that the 59 litre, which you see here, and the 82 litre tank are basically the same height and the same width, just a little bit longer that way. So having a look at the space we've got here, I don't think it's going to be an issue. With the help of the dog, just got to be in the way. Okay, and so here we are on the other side. So we've just got a couple of bolts here, one there and one there, one on each strap basically, that just hold her up. So I'm just going to undo those 9/16. So now obviously your mileage may vary, but surprisingly enough it's actually coming out not too bad. Probably could have given it a squirt with something, some WD-40, but I'm just going a bit easy here because I don't know what sort of tension is on this. Now the tank is fully drained, but obviously these, I think this is going to want to spring down once I undo it. So I'm just going a little bit easy on this. It get a bit tight there. Obviously it hasn't been undone probably since it was original. We've got those nuts off, and the good news is here these don't appear to be under too much tension. They are, but it's not going to spring off and catch you or hurt you or anything like that, as long as you're not directly underneath it. Pull that sort of forward to release it off the sort of hooks on the front of the screw there, or the bolt, whatever you want to call it. So if you just pull it forward, it just seems to want to drop down like that, nicely. Okay, and we're back from Super Cheap. No affiliation, obviously. Oh, hello, buddy. Thank you very much. And this is the new tank. So this is the 82 litre here, and this is the 59 litre here, and it does. I've also bought some plumber's tape. Now the problem is I can't use one of these as a breather, because when I have that down, so the water, when I have that down sort of in that orientation, those are going to be at the bottom. No point having a breather at the bottom, but that does put that hole at the top. I just need some way of protecting it and stopping the water, I guess, from just running straight out the top when I'm going around corners. They are the same width, which is exactly what we wanted. From a depth perspective or a height perspective, they are the same. The top one actually looks a bit thicker because it's dirtier, but they are actually the same height or depth. So we'll get underneath and we'll fit that one up. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know why they can't just standardise these things. I did go and buy a 1/2 inch BSP plug, which I thought was going to fit into the end of that to replace the bolt that I was missing. I was just looking at this. Obviously I grabbed the barbs that were going to fit on the end. Mistakenly, I actually thought that this would be threaded something common as per all the other outlets or ports on the tank, but not to be the case. So to be honest, I'm a bit dirty about that, because now it means I've got to go and run around and try and find something that's actually going to fit that, not knowing what the thread pattern is or the size. So I'm going to head down to Bunnings at some point and go and have a look and see what we can find there. Okay, so we're back from the shops. We've been down to Bunnings, bought a whole bunch of different connections, because frankly I wasn't sure what that one on top was. actually found out was it's the same as a hose connection. You screw in bit, so if you actually untake this bit here, that's the size it actually fits there. Don't ask me what it is, I've got a feeling it's 9 or 20 mil. For an idea of what else fits in there is these things that you get for your water barrels, water tanks, whatever you want to call them. Okay, there you go, so 20 mil fine thread. So this actually fits in there as well. This pipe, bit of hose inside the shed, I've got a feeling it's a bit over 20 mil. That's in the shed, so what I've done is clamp that on and had that down there, and then I'm just going to bend that down there like that and have it out of the way, so I've actually got downward pointing air vent, so that'll be good, so no dirt's just going to get into the top of that. Got a bunch of things while I was down there, a number of these 90-degree barb connections, trying to just replicate what was already on it. Now FYI, these are a 15 mil BSP thread on both sides. And if you can recall in the video earlier when I was showing the original tank, I wasn't sure whether this was a standard affair, and luckily enough it is, but on mine it had just split sort of around there. Even though I tried to sort of plastic weld it and stick some gunk around it, it was still holding, but not real well. So I thought I might take the opportunity to upgrade to the 82, and I grabbed a nice little brass tap to fit on here as well. Again, 15 mil BSP, just for the purpose of draining it. With the old one, it was just pretty much a bolt jammed in here, and anytime I wanted to undo it, I had to crawl under and do that. But now I've actually got a tap there. That's going to be much easier to drain that. Anyway, so we're in the process of just giving this a wash out, just to rinse. We'll fill her up, turn that hose up, and once we've done that, we'll talk about getting her under the van. Waste not, what not, eh bud? Now we also grabbed some 13 mil hose. This is corrugation hose, poly pipe, 13 mil. 25 metres of, so this is actually what's ran under the van, and as you probably already know, they use black pipe or non-clear pipe, so the sun can't get to it, stops the fungus growing in it. So this is the hose that we're going to put on top as our air vent, and hopefully hang it down over there. We'll see whether that's going to stay there and how that's going to work. They're pretty much just a hose clamp, and they're just a compression fit. You see there's little teeth in there that catch on, so you just tighten them up like that, and that's about as tight as I think we're going to get that one. It's nice and tight there. Yep, that's not coming off. So we've got the tank in, and you can see it there. Luckily enough, there's those couple of marks on the bottom of the actual tank itself. I'll just go over this side, and you can see that one just there. So that's just sitting just on the outside of that strap. We've got that one sitting just that side of that one, so probably nudge it to the left just a little bit, but for now that's going to be pretty good. So here we are, back under the van. We've got it all connected up. Sorry, not all connected up. I've got the filler hose connected. I was thinking about taking that off just a little bit short, but this is what was on the original. I've had to reroute on the inside of the shock, between the shock and the spring. As you can see that coming through there. Now it was originally resting on it, but there is this holder here. And what I basically did is put a bit of a bend in that, and as you can see, that took that hose just to the right there a little bit, and it's no longer going to interfere with that shock, which is good. I'm really pushing my luck here. But there is some clearance between the spring and the actual filler there as well. That's just silicone that's been on there. So we're really close as far as tolerances go, but I think we're going to be okay. Nothing should rub. Now, I don't know what these little guys are up to, but this is where I've been resting my head whilst I've been working under the car. You can see there is an abundance of ants here. They're all off in the dirt and they're off doing something. There's a bit of an ant highway, so I'll be keeping my head off that for now on. These are not poisonous or anything here in Australia. There's little black ants. They do give you one hell of a bite. You certainly know about it once they pinch you and grab hold of you. So I won't upset them little guys. So there we go, there's our breather hose coming out the back there. I've taken it just over the top of the bracket there that holds onto the straps. That's actually holding the tank on. So that's coming out backwards towards the rear of the van, which is sort of behind us here. It is fairly sizable, so it should allow quite a bit of breathing and allow the water to go in without any issue. So it shouldn't provide any problems when I'm filling. What I will do is cover this maybe with some, maybe with an old sock or just a piece of pantyhose or something like that. Or just a bit of mesh, just something to stop the bugs getting in and building a nest and all that sort of stuff. I do like to find their way into those things. So that's the tank pretty much fitted back in. And as you'll see, it's a reasonably tight fit, but I think it's worth it for the extra 20 or so litres I'm going to be able to take now. And with the axle flip, like I said, it has been a little bit bouncy, so I am pretty keen to get this filled up and then see how she rides then. So I don't think the 80 litres are going to go astray. I do have to keep in mind that that's an extra 20 litres though, which means an extra 20 kilos. Ball weight has been around about 160, I think, unladen, but I think I may have had some firewood at that point, so let's call it around about 150, with this sort of being rear of the axle. This is going to be good for balance, so when I've got a load of firewood up the front, I'll have this loaded up with 80 litres of water, and we'll balance it out pretty good and probably reduce the ball weight ever so slightly. And there we go with the filler. I've just stuck the hose in the filler there, and I've actually got the pressure up reasonably high actually. I'm pretty impressed that that's not backing out. It means that our breather hole is working fine. So the good news is the filler's working. I think you see it comes out almost at the same rate. Dog approves. But I think we've got a leak under there somewhere. I'm having some issues just around that filler there. It's leaking just off the bottom. So I might have to make some cuts to that hose. Perhaps that hose needs redoing. And I've tried adjusting the hose clamp, but that hasn't really fixed it. So that hose might actually have a split or something. So we'll sort that out later on. But for now, just going to fill her up and let her sit and see how she goes. So that drip is pretty slow, but it's still enough to annoy me. Obviously we don't really lose any water while we're driving along or camping. That would be a bit shit. So anyway, so we'll get around to that later on. I won't bother you with a video on that one. So I've got to say, since I've had the lift and I'll just put that tap under, pretty happy with myself. That's easy to reach, basically from the side of the van. So I will be able to put a connection on here and run a little hose off if I want. It will obviously be gravity fed, but there'll be enough to run a little bit of hose out here to the side of the van and wash your hands or something along those lines. So that is it for this one, guys. Thanks again for sticking around. Appreciate your time, appreciate the subscriptions, and any thumbs up. Any feedback is also appreciated as well. The mods are going to keep coming with this van. I did get... This is off the front of a camper trailer, I believe he said it was. So this is going to allow me to go from the 1 9 kilo gas bottle up the front and convert that to 2 4.5 kilo gas bottles. So we'll get around to attaching that. I've got to make some adjustments. I've got to move the jockey wheel to remove the current gas bottle as well, and then we'll get around to fixing that on later on. Now, while we're out in the shed, assuming the weather plays nice tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you a quick rundown on this. Now this is the Red Track portable hot water system, which will be going in the van for some remote camping. Now this I managed to pick up second hand for about $100. They go for around about 150, give or take. Depends on the different deals you spot on eBay and the different brands, but obviously the Julka seems to get some really good reviews. There was Red Track, and there was another brand which I don't recall, which were pretty much the top 3 brands to go for. And I was all about to pull the trigger on one of these. I've been looking for months, deciding whether to get one of these or not, and then this one popped up locally for $100, basically brand new and in the box. So I snagged it. I've had a bit of a play with it, used it a couple of times. Really impressed with the heat that comes out. There is a few tricks to it though that I want to give you some insight on. So if that interests you, chuck us a subscription, and I'll get to that possibly tomorrow or in the next week or so. So thanks again, appreciate the support, appreciate the watch, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.